Happiness, a dream that everyone wants to touch, a thing that a person spends their entire life searching for. But have you ever wondered, is happiness truly lasting? In Buddhist teachings, happiness is merely a fleeting shadow, while peace is the true destination, the place where the soul finds stability and freedom. In life, we often get caught in the whirlwind of ambition, seeking happiness through money, fame, or love. Yet, that happiness, even when attained, is just a temporary feeling, easily dissipating when circumstances change. According to the teachings of the Buddha, chasing after external happiness is akin to pursuing a mirage, as it never truly fills the void in the soul. The Buddha once taught, happiness comes and goes, but peace is the eternal truth. Peace does not depend on external conditions, it is not influenced by the ups and downs of life. It is a state of calmness, a serene acceptance of all changes, when one learns to let go of greed, anger, and ignorance, and lives in awareness. In the modern world, where work pressures, complex relationships, and the fast pace of life exhaust people, this teaching of the Buddha becomes particularly significant. Peace not only helps us face difficulties but also brings inner freedom, liberating us from the burdens that weigh down the mind. Today, we will explore why the Buddha advises, don't seek happiness, seek peace. Can this peace be the path that helps us live a more fulfilling life in the tumultuous 21st century? Let's find the answer in this video. Part 1. The concept of happiness in secular views. Happiness has long been a concept that people constantly pursue. In modern society, happiness is often tied to external conditions, wealth, love, fame, or recognition from others. However, Buddhist teachings point out that this type of happiness is temporary, easily fading away, and can even become a source of suffering. To understand this clearly, let's analyze it in detail. 1. Happiness based on external conditions. According to secular views, people believe that happiness comes from achieving what they desire. Wealth. The poor think that having money will bring happiness. However, in reality, once they attain wealth, greed leads them to want more. They worry about losing what they have, resulting in an unsettled mind. Love is one of humanity's greatest desires. However, love often comes with attachments, expectations, and even suffering when it is unreciprocated or lost. Fame. Many spend their lives building a reputation, yet fame is just an illusion. When they are no longer celebrated, they feel empty and disappointed. The Buddha referred to these forms of happiness as conditional happiness, meaning it depends on various conditions and is not sustainable. When these conditions change, that happiness disappears, leaving emptiness and suffering. 2. The vicious cycle of craving. Buddhist teachings indicate that the root of suffering lies in craving, tanha, the insatiable desire. When people place their happiness on external factors, they inadvertently fall into a vicious cycle. When they achieve what they want, they feel momentarily satisfied. But when the joy fades, they seek something greater to replace it. If they fail to achieve it, they fall into disappointment, sadness, or even suffering. For example, a person yearns for a promotion to feel successful. Upon achieving it, they experience brief joy, but soon desire an even higher position. If they do not attain it, they feel dissatisfied. This is the cycle of craving that keeps people restless. 3. Worldly happiness is easily influenced by impermanence. In Buddhist teachings, impermanence, anicca, is an important truth. Everything in life changes, nothing is eternal. Wealth can be lost. Love can fade, and fame is fleeting. When we base our happiness on these factors, it can easily crumble when circumstances change. The Buddha taught, happiness based on material things is like building a castle on sand. The winds and waves will wash it all away. This does not mean we should not enjoy or seek beautiful things in life. However, if we cling to them, we will forever be swept away by suffering when those things are no longer present. 4. The suffering from chasing external happiness. Upon deeper analysis, we see that worldly happiness is not only fleeting but can lead to suffering in various ways. Pressure and stress, the pursuit of wealth, fame, or love often leaves individuals exhausted, as they never feel satisfied. Comparison, In modern society, many measure their happiness by comparing themselves to others. This only increases dissatisfaction and envy. Fear of loss. Once people achieve what they desire, they worry about losing it. This fear prevents the mind from ever being at peace. 5. Buddhism and the path to liberation from suffering. The Buddha did not deny worldly joy, but he pointed out that it is not the path to liberation. Instead of seeking happiness externally, the Buddha advises us to turn inward and seek inner peace. Letting go of craving, when no longer bound by greed and expectations, the mind becomes lighter. Practicing mindfulness. Fully living in the present, without worrying about the future or regretting the past. Understanding impermanence, recognizing that everything changes helps us let go and more easily accept loss. Seeking peace instead of worldly happiness. Worldly happiness, no matter how beautiful, is just fleeting moments. Buddhist teachings suggest that instead of tirelessly chasing external illusions, we should direct our minds toward peace, a state free from greed, hatred, and delusion. When we achieve inner peace, we no longer need conditions to feel happy. It is a state of absolute freedom, where the soul is liberated from all attachments and suffering. This journey is not easy, but it brings a meaningful life, resilient in the face of life's upheavals. Take a moment to pause. Look within, and ask yourself, do the things you are pursuing truly bring lasting happiness? Part 2, the Buddhist teachings on peace. Peace, according to Buddhist teachings, is not the absence of difficulties or adversity, but a state of tranquility and self-possession amidst life's fluctuations. The Buddha once taught, happiness is temporary, but peace is eternal. This is not just advice, it is the path to freeing ourselves from suffering and attaining true liberation. To understand this better, let's analyze the meaning and importance of peace in Buddhist teachings. 1. Peace is a state beyond circumstances. In life, people often think that peace can only be achieved when everything around them is smooth, no difficulties, conflicts, or losses. However, Buddhist teachings emphasize that true peace does not depend on external circumstances. It does not come from avoiding suffering but from how we confront and overcome those adversities. The Buddha pointed out that the human mind is like a calm lake. When it is influenced by greed, anger, and ignorance, the surface becomes turbulent and cannot reflect the truth. But when the mind is tranquil, undisturbed by external stimuli, we can truly experience peace. Example: a person who loses their job may feel distress by clinging to that job as an essential part of their identity. However, if they recognize that this loss is part of the impermanent nature of life, they can find peace even amidst adversity. 2. Peace comes from letting go. One of the core teachings of the Buddha is the concept of letting go, Vairagya. Peace is not about gaining more. It is about shedding attachments and expectations. When we let go of greed, anger, and ignorance, the three poisons, tamadoka, the soul naturally becomes lighter. Letting go of greed. Greed compels individuals to chase after things that will never be enough. By letting go of greed, we release ourselves from the exhaustion of the pursuit. Letting go of anger. Anger is a fire that burns away our inner peace. Forgiveness and love not only help others but also allow us to live more lightly. Letting go of ignorance. Ignorance is a lack of understanding about the true nature of life. By recognizing the truths of impermanence and dependent origination, we no longer cling to what does not last. 3. Peace is inner freedom. The Buddha said, no one can bring you peace except yourself. Peace is not a gift from the outside. It is inner freedom when we are no longer bound by the conditions of the world. People often feel unrest because they are tied to expectations and what they believe they must have to be happy. When we understand that all attachments are illusions, we can truly experience freedom and peace. Example: a person may often worry about what others think of them. But when they realize that others' opinions are merely reflections of their minds, not their true worth, they can let go of their anxiety and live freely. 4. Mindfulness. The path to peace. Mindfulness, sati, is one of the 8 elements of the Noble Eightfold Path, the way to escape suffering and attain peace. By living mindfully, we are fully present. Living in the moment without being pulled by the past or worrying about the future. Mindfulness practice includes recognizing our emotions and thoughts without judgment. Focusing on our breath to keep the mind calm. Observing everything that occurs with equanimity, without attachment. Example, when faced with difficulties at work. Instead of getting caught up in anger or worry, pause, take a deep breath, and observe your feelings. This helps us not to be swayed by emotions, allowing for clearer decision-making. 5. The difference between happiness and peace. Happiness is often tied to conditions and can be easily lost when circumstances change. In contrast, peace is a stable state, independent of any conditions. Peace allows us to face both joy and sorrow without being disturbed. Example. A wealthy person may feel happy because they own many possessions, but they constantly fear losing what they have. A monk living simply, without possessions, may have a heart filled with peace because they are no longer bound by transient things. 6. Peace and the meaning of life. Buddhist teachings indicate that the ultimate goal of life is not happiness but liberation from suffering, the state of nirvana. Nirvana is not a place but a state of mind completely at peace, free from greed, anger, and ignorance. To attain peace, the Buddha advises us to practice meditation. To quiet the mind and understand the true nature of all things. Compassion, to bring love and kindness to all beings. Wisdom, to clearly understand the truths of impermanence, suffering, and non-self. Peace, the path to liberation. In Buddhist teachings, peace is not something we seek externally, it is a natural state when the mind lets go of all attachments and clinging. It is the path to absolute freedom, rising above all suffering. Ask yourself, what are you chasing to feel happy? Are those things truly sustainable? If not, it's time to pause and seek the peace within, where you will discover the true meaning of life. Part 3. Comparison of happiness and peace. Happiness and peace are two states that people always long for. However, they carry completely different meanings and natures. While happiness is a sweet but fleeting feeling, peace is a stable and lasting state of the soul. In Buddhist teachings, understanding the difference between these two concepts not only helps us live more wisely but also leads to the path of liberation from suffering. 1. Happiness, a temporary satisfaction. Happiness, from a worldly perspective, often arises from the fulfillment of personal desires. When we achieve what we wish for, such as money, love, or fame, we feel joyful and satisfied. However, the Buddha pointed out that this kind of happiness is always temporary and easily lost for two main reasons. Happiness depends on conditions. Worldly happiness requires external conditions to exist. For example, you feel happy when receiving a gift, but that joy fades when the gift loses its value. When circumstances change, the feeling of happiness also dissipates. Happiness is influenced by craving. Happiness is often the result of craving, tanha. When we get what we want, we feel happy, but when we don't achieve it, or when we lose it, we immediately fall into suffering. For example, a person who attains a high position at work may feel happy, but the anxiety of maintaining that position or competition from others can make them stressed and insecure. 2. Peace, a stable, self-sufficient state. Unlike happiness, peace does not depend on external conditions. Peace is a state of mind that is not disturbed by life's events. It comes from within when we learn to let go of greed, hatred, and delusion and live in awareness. Peace is unaffected by circumstances. Whether facing joy or sorrow, a person with a peaceful mind remains balanced. The Buddha referred to this state as a mind unmoved amidst the storms of life. Peace comes from enlightenment. According to Buddhist teachings, true peace is achieved when one understands the impermanent nature of life, letting go of all attachments and clinging. Peace is not a state devoid of feelings, but rather the ability to control emotions and not let them dominate the mind. For example, a monk meditating under the Bodhi tree can smile gently even amidst life's difficulties. Their peace does not come from external conditions but is the result of practice and enlightenment. 3. Fundamental differences between happiness and peace. First, regarding dependence. Happiness is often tied to circumstances and external conditions. It depends on whether we achieve what we desire. For instance, a person may feel happy when praised or receiving a gift. But when those factors disappear, joy quickly fades. In contrast, peace does not depend on external factors. It is a state of mind that arises from within, allowing a person to remain self-sufficient regardless of any circumstances. Second, regarding nature, happiness is often temporary. It can come and go with changes in circumstances, like a fleeting flame before the wind. Conversely, peace is a sustainable and enduring state. A person with a peaceful mind is not shaken by the ups and downs of life, as they understand that everything is impermanent and not worth clinging to. Third, regarding origins, happiness, in many cases, arises from craving, anger, and delusion. When achieving what they want, people feel joy. However, if they do not achieve it or lose it, they easily fall into suffering. In contrast, peace does not come from such desires. It is the result of mindfulness and letting go of attachments, allowing the mind to become lighter and more tranquil. Finally, regarding emotions, happiness often comes with ups and downs, characterized by fleeting joy when achieving what one expects. However, this emotion easily disappears when circumstances change. In contrast, peace brings tranquility and composure. A person with a peaceful mind is not swayed by emotions and always maintains equanimity amidst all changes. In summary, both happiness and peace bring joy. But peace transcends happiness due to its stability, sustainability, and independence. This is the core value that Buddhist teachings aim to guide us towards. 4. Why is happiness easily taken away while peace is eternal? Happiness is easily lost due to impermanence. According to Buddhist teachings, everything in life is impermanent, anicca. Wealth, fame, or love can be lost at any moment. When we place our happiness in these things, we easily fall into suffering when they change. Peace is eternal because it is independent. Peace does not come from what you have but from how you perceive life. A person may not be wealthy or powerful, but if they know how to let go and live mindfully, they can still experience peace. For example, someone who has lost all their possessions may feel sorrowful because they placed their happiness in material things. However, if they understand that possessions are merely temporary, they can accept the loss and maintain a peaceful mind. 5. How to transition from happiness to peace. The Buddha pointed out the path to achieving peace through the Noble Eightfold Path. Some practical approaches include: practice mindfulness, live in the present, without letting the mind be drawn back to the past or worry about the future. Meditation helps calm the mind. Eliminate negative thoughts, and achieve inner balance. Let go of craving, hatred, and delusion, recognize that these only bring suffering and learn to release them. Live simply. Focus on spiritual values rather than material ones. Happiness or peace, what do you choose? Happiness is something everyone craves, but it is like a fleeting breeze, impossible to hold on to forever. In contrast, peace is a stable state of mind, unaffected by life's upheavals. The Buddha does not encourage us to abandon happiness but advises us to look beyond it. Do not just seek fleeting joy, but aim for the deep-seated peace within your soul. When you achieve peace, you will realize that no conditions are needed to feel happiness because that peace itself is the ultimate happiness. Ask yourself, what are you seeking? Temporary happiness or lasting peace? The answer lies in your own awareness. Part 4, How to Find Peace. Peace is not something that can be found externally. It is a spiritual state that can be achieved when we return to our true nature. In Buddhist teachings, peace does not depend on external circumstances but comes from within. From awareness and the ability to face every situation in life with wisdom and calmness. So, how can we find peace in this ever-changing life? Let's explore some methods according to Buddhist teachings to practice and discover peace. 1. Meditate every day. Meditation is one of the most important methods in Buddhist teachings for finding peace. Meditation is not just about sitting in silence but a way for us to calm our minds and connect with our deeper selves. In meditation, we learn to eliminate distracting thoughts. Let go of worries about the past or future, and focus solely on the present. The Buddha taught that Mindfulness is awareness in every moment. Mindfulness in meditation helps us realize that every thought, every feeling, every breath has its own value and doesn't need to be forced or resisted. When we sit in meditation, we're not seeking something new but recognizing what is present as it is. This will help our souls become calm, unaffected by external storms. Example. Try dedicating 10 minutes each morning to meditate. During this time, you don't need to do anything else but pay attention to your breath. Feel each breath in and out gently and mindfully. When feelings of anxiety or stress arise, let them pass without clinging to them. Gradually, you will sense the peace within yourself. 2. Practice mindfulness. Live fully in the present. Mindfulness is one of the important factors in the Eightfold Path that the Buddha taught. Mindfulness is not just focusing on the breath, but being aware in every action, word, and thought. When you practice mindfulness, you will no longer be swept away by negative thoughts or unnecessary worries but will live fully in each moment. Reasons why mindfulness is important. Mindfulness helps us not to get caught up in the past or future, but only to live fully in the present. When we live in the present, our minds will not be disturbed by what has passed or worried about what is to come. This helps reduce stress and brings peace. Example, on a busy day, instead of worrying about unfinished work or unresolved relationships, turn back to yourself and live fully in each moment. When you drink water, savor the taste. When you walk, pay attention to each step. When you talk to someone, listen and enjoy every word. Each moment is an opportunity for you to practice mindfulness and find peace in life. 3. Let go of expectations. Don't cling to outcomes. One of the reasons people cannot find peace is that they cling too much to outcomes. People often worry about achieving goals, expect the future, and focus on the results of everything. But according to the Buddha, life is impermanent, everything can change at any moment, and clinging to outcomes only brings suffering. Peace comes from letting go of expectations. When you no longer have high expectations for outcomes, you will feel lighter. What matters is not whether you achieve your goal but whether you live fully in each step. You will no longer feel pressured by success or failure but simply enjoy the journey. Example. If you participate in a project and focus only on the final result, you will feel stressed, anxious, and unable to enjoy the process. But if you let go of expectations and live fully in what you are doing, you will feel free, and when the result comes, you will not be dependent on it. Peace will come when you no longer cling to invisible expectations. 4. Focus on letting go of greed, hatred, and delusion. In Buddhist teachings, the three main poisons of humanity are greed, hatred, and delusion. It is these poisons that prevent people from finding peace. When we are greedy, angry, and deluded, our minds are always disturbed and cannot be at peace. Therefore, to find peace, we must let go of these poisons. Let go of greed. Greed is never feeling satisfied and always wanting more. This makes us never content and always feel lacking, not at peace. Let go of hatred. Hatred is the feeling of anger, unforgiveness, and a desire for revenge. Hatred harms both ourselves and others, preventing our minds from being at peace. Let go of delusion. Delusion is a lack of understanding of the impermanent nature of life, leading us to cling to things that are not sustainable. Example, when you feel jealous of someone else or angry at someone, pause and ask yourself, does this anger help me find peace? You will realize that letting go of these negative emotions will help you breathe easier and feel peace in your soul. Peace lies within you. Peace is not something you can find outside, it is a state of the mind. Practicing meditation, living mindfully, letting go of expectations, and reducing greed, hatred, and delusion will help you find tranquility in life. When you find peace in your mind, you will see life become lighter, even when facing any challenges. Start with small things, like spending a few minutes each day to meditate, living fully in the present, and letting go of unnecessary expectations. These are the first steps on the path to rediscovering peace, where you can live serenely, freely, and happily. Conclusion. Remember that peace is not something you can find outside, in material possessions or temporary success. Peace is a state of the soul, a stillness that comes from within. It does not depend on circumstances or external factors but is the result of self-awareness and living in each moment. When you practice mindfulness and let go of worries and expectations, you will find that peace is always present within you, as long as you are willing to pause and listen. The journey to find peace is not a distant quest but a simple and clear path. It is to live fully in each moment, to accept everything as it is. Peace has no destination. It is a continuous journey of growth and self-understanding. Start with small steps, like dedicating a few minutes to meditation each day, or simply taking deep breaths and letting go of worries. If you find this video helpful and wish to find peace in your life, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments below. I would love to hear your stories and experiences. Thank you for joining me on this journey. I wish you find peace in every day of your life and always feel happy with yourself.